to the first Financial Friday class of Habit Engineering. Dude, I'm hyped for today. Today is going to be a lot of fun. We are talking about one of my favorite topics, which is wealth creation. I've spent a lot of time researching precisely how to go about this. And so we're gonna have a lot of fun today. Tell some stories. I wanted to start, obviously, with our daily quote. I feel like I think I'm just gonna drop the quote and talk about the quote rather than talk about how to engineer a principle or how to engineer the principle from the habit or the principle in the form of a habit. Just because I think that's losing a lot of people for the live stream, and instead just get into the topic of the discussion of the day. So yeah, let's try that. Today's quote is another anonymous one, so if anyone knows who this was originated from, please drop it in the chat or let me know. But it just says, "The world is cruel, therefore I won't be." I think the principle here is obviously very clear. Be nice, be kind, be genuinely good. There is so much going on in the world that the world needs you, yes, you, to be good. Just be good. Just be a good boy. Be a good girl. Treat people kindly. Try to see them from from their perspective. Walk 2 miles in their shoes, so to speak. Life is already intense enough without other human beings compounding the cruelness of it or the difficulty of it. Please be someone who lightens those burdens for people rather than make them worse. Yeah. Oh, that's good. I like it. With that being said, I'll just tell you guys a habit. Just compliment the first person that you see every day. Dude, that's actually fire. I really like that habit. Here's your challenge to implement this habit. Go and compliment the first person that you see every day. Just give them a compliment, genuine compliment. Like, whoever that person is, look at them for long enough, go get their attention, give them a compliment that is real for you. See what that does. Dude, that's fire. That's a good habit. I love it. Okay. So that's part one. Welcome to Habit Engineering. Like I said, it's Financial Friday. We have a different category of life for each day of the week. Monday is physical, Tuesday is social, Wednesday is intellectual, Thursdays is spiritual, Fridays financial. So, Ishi, good to see you, man. We are going to get into part 2 of the live stream right now, which is our mastery track topic, which today is wealth creation because it's Financial Friday. And I've studied a lot of wealth creation, both on the entrepreneurial business owner side of things and on the employee side of things. So the employee side of things is honestly very simple. Notice simple and easy are two different things, right? So don't misunderstand me, but very simple. And so I'll just give an overview of that, and then I'll give an overview of the way that I think is best from an entrepreneurial standpoint as well. Because, and you don't even have to, and then I'll tell a story to explain. So for the employees on the live stream, and frankly for anyone who lives in America, if you're watching this and you live in America, or probably other first world countries, or I guess technically anyone who has access to the internet can take advantage of this. Yeah, anyone who has access to the internet and a bank account can take advantage of this. Compound interest is the magic formula to win at life in every area of life, but the compound effect, I guess, is the formula to win at any area of life, and compound interest is how that's expressed in a financial standpoint. So if you don't understand what compound interest is, how it works, essentially, let's say you have $1,000. You put $1,000 into an account that, just for math's sake, the historical average of the S&P 500, it goes up 7%. Let's say this, just for my brain's sake, we'll say 10%. And it compounds annually, so once a year. That $1,000 at the end of that year at a 10% interest rate will give you $100 back. So now you have $1,100. The way compound interest works is that now you're earning interest on a new principal. So that $1,100, that's when it compounds, it changes what the principal amount is in as many times as the account that you have allows for it to change. So if you have an account that compounds daily, then the principal amount that you're earning interest on changes every day. If you have one that compounds every year, which is generally what it is, then the principal amount updates every year. So what that equates to is that the longer you hold money in an account and the more you contribute to that account, the higher your exponential return will be. It creates an exponential return. So the specific math for people who are employees or people who don't want to be business owners or entrepreneurs, which is totally fine, totally fine, totally fine. Entrepreneurialism is not for everyone, and that's okay. Is if you go to Vanguard or Fidelity or a company like that, you can open an account, just like a money market account would be fine. You could open a Roth IRA, whatever. Whatever you can will allow you to reinvest in and will compound. And you put in $585 per month for 40 years, then you will be able to, I'm assuming, let's say you graduate college, start work at 25, retire when you're 65 is the historical timeline, then you will be able to retire with, I believe, $1.4 million. And that's just $585 per month. So if you can increase that number to 600, then the increase exponentially is even more. If you can do 1,000, way more, right? Because you're doing the same thing. The compound effect is like you get an exponential increase in what is happening solely due to the fact that you did a simple thing for an extended period of time. It's just because you did it for longer than everyone else. Financial sector rewards that. So that's how you end. That's how anyone can retire a millionaire, as long as you have an internet connection and a bank account, and you are consistently putting in at least $585 a month. And that's assuming a 7% interest rate, which is the historical rate of the S&P 500. Make sure, if you are putting that $585 in or more per month, just go invest it in an S&P 500 index fund. Don't watch the market. Don't try to play the market. Don't do anything with it. Don't touch it. Don't ever take it out until you're retired. Just put it in. Put it in an S&P 500 index fund. You're good. So, and that can all be automated. Like from a computer, you don't need to make a habit in order to do that necessarily. Then on the business entrepreneurial side, the idea that I really enjoy comes from a guy named Naval Ravikant. Super interesting guy. David Senra, the founder of the Founders Podcast, it's episode 191 on what's called the Navalmanac, which is a Naval Ravikant almanac. Eric Jorgensen basically just put a bunch of Naval's tweets and talks and speeches and all that and put it into a book form and released it. It's free to read, and it's absolutely phenomenal. I highly recommend, especially if you're a business owner, entrepreneur, inclined in that way. But the big idea here is that you want to productize yourself. And what I mean by that is you want to find specific knowledge. So find something that feels like work to everyone else, but feels like play to you. So that just by that automatically means you'll outwork everyone. Take all of the risk, put it all in your name, stay accountable to that, have the responsibility, have the risk, because that way you get the reward. And then utilize some form of permissionless infinite leverage. And combine all those three things together, put that out into the world, and that is productizing yourself, right? So it's essentially doing something that is valuable enough for the market that they will pay for it, that feels like play to you, and doing it in a way where you don't need anyone else's permission to do it, and it scales in an infinite aspect. And so I'll just tell a story here that will both illustrate a habit that you can implement in order to figure out how to productize yourself, and just kind of what this looks like, because it's a bit of an abstract idea. So I had a manager when I was doing roofing sales a while back, and I had a manager, shout out Connor Hart, if you ever watch this, but we would have these long live conversations, and he would always end it with asking me, "What do you want, Max? What do you want? What do you want? What do you want?" Right? And I would always tell him some random like business idea that I was thinking about, or something that I was trying, or what my life plan was, or whatever. It was always kind of half cooked, and I was trying it, like I was actually taking action on those ideas, but it took me about a year and a half to finally realize that I actually had no clue what I wanted. Like I was just giving him some random thing that I was thinking about. It wasn't like something that I felt down to my core, like something that I really, really believed in. Something that I could picture myself doing for the next 20 years and not, and still loving it, you know? And so once I humbled myself and realized that I accepted that I didn't know what I wanted, even though I thought I did, time and time again. I was like, well, shoot, I'm going to figure this out. No time like the present, right? I'm young. I have at the time I had no wife, no girlfriend, no dependents. It's just me, and so it's like I will have the least amount of risk that I will ever have in my entire life. I gotta figure this out now. And I wanted to figure it out now too, so that was helpful. And so here's the habit that I implemented to figure out how to productize myself. Because I'd already come across this idea at that point, and so I knew that I wanted to do something that utilized either code or media, and I knew I didn't want to code, so I knew I was going to go the video route. And so that was already set, and I already knew I wanted to own my own business, so that was already set. But it was the process of figuring out what business I actually wanted to start that I could do for 20 plus years and still love. That was also something that felt like play to me, and would also be valuable enough for people to pay money for, right? And the putting my name on the line, the taking the risk so I get the reward part, that's very easy for me. I have an exceptionally high financial risk tolerance, which has been very valuable. Ishi, I will come back to your question in the next section. Don't let me forget. So in realizing that I didn't know what I wanted, I said, okay, I'm going to, I would do all of my roofing work in the morning, and then I would come home in the afternoons, the early afternoons, and I would change into my pajamas, and I would just lay down and I would just think, what do I want? What do I want? What do I want? And I would go back and forth between thinking about what I wanted, thinking about what I could do for 20 plus years and still love, still be obsessed with. And I would write stuff down in this notebook that I had on my dresser right next to my bed. And I would just go back and forth between thinking about what I wanted, writing it down, thinking about what I wanted, writing it down. And then any time that I had a not fully, but like a concrete idea of something that I thought I wanted to do that I could go and test out, I went and tested it in the most cost-efficient way possible. I went and tested the idea. So I was like, okay, I think I want to go make this type of video. Let me go try to actually make this type of video, see how it goes. I think I want to do this type of thing. Let me go try to do this type of thing, see how it goes. And then I would take notes on like, okay, I liked doing this. I didn't like this aspect of it. I liked doing this. I didn't like this aspect of it. I want to keep doing this. I don't want to keep doing this, right? And so just iteration after iteration, I narrowed down what I wanted to do specifically and how I wanted to do it. And I realized pretty early on that I wanted to be a life coach, that I needed to be a life coach. Because like just teaching people, like I freaking love it. I freaking love it. Like that's why I get on this live stream with 4 people at 9:15 in the morning and just talk, right? Because I love teaching what I've learned. And so I was like, okay, what specific skill set do I have that I can add value to? And it took about 7 months of me testing these different ideas and these different types of videos, like teaching different things, until I figured out what was unique to me was teaching people how to build habits that actually stick. And that was kind of what changed the game for everything for me. Because once I realized that, then I started trying to come up with my own formula, and that's where the Triple S method came in. And that's something that is super valuable and super simple. and works. Frankly, it works. It's the most effective habit building method I've ever come across. And I've studied all of the world's best habit building methods. So, and so then after that point, the effort that I've undertaken now is figuring out, okay, how do I want to do that? How do I want to go about teaching people how to build habits that stick in a way that feels like play to me, that utilizes infinite leverage, and that is like something I want to do, right? And I'm still figuring that out. This live stream is part of figuring that out. And I have an idea that I'm gonna start testing today outside of this that may work. Well, it will work. It's just if I can stick to it long enough to figure it out. So yeah, that'll be fun. But to put the if you're someone who wants to be a business owner, who wants to be an entrepreneur, and likes this idea, then the habit that I would implement so that you could figure out how to productize yourself is to take X amount of time per day, let's just say an hour to start. And you do like from 7 to 8 p.m. after dinner, go lay down in your bed and just think about what you want and write down what you think you want. And I would make sure that it's a paper journal rather than typing things up on your phone or your laptop or something. There are so many distractions in that tech that it's hard for you to stay focused on figuring out what you want. There's a Edwin Land quote, who's the founder of Polaroid, where he just says that my entire life has been spent trying to teach people that intense concentration for hour after hour will bring out results in people or resources in people they didn't know they had. And so doing everything you can during that hour block to remove distractions and increase your level of focus on figuring out what you do want and how you want to go about getting that thing or building that business is of paramount importance. You become what you focus on, so don't let yourself get distracted. Oh, what's up, Panic? Good to see you. And so yeah, so that habit, I would say, if you were take that and adapt it into your own schedule. But from 7 to 8 p.m., lay down in your bed, have a notebook right by you, pen, pencil, whatever, and just lay down and think about, okay, what do I want? What do I want? What could I actually picture myself doing for 20 plus years and still loving it? And then how can I go about getting what I want? I would submit to Naval's point that the only true measure of intelligence is if you get what you want out of life. At the end of life, I don't really think anything else is gonna matter from an intelligence standpoint. Like, yeah, sure, maybe I knew how to build rockets and I was an astrophysicist and that's really cool, but if I was miserable for my entire life, at the end of my life, am I gonna care? Probably not. So yeah, that is the habit that I would implement. If you are sitting there thinking, oh, okay, well, I would totally fall asleep if I did that at 7 to 8 p.m., then go sit on the sofa in your living room, go sit at the living room table, somewhere, some way where distractions are removed, you're in an isolated environment, and you can just sit with your thoughts and actually think through, okay, what do I want? That's the principle behind the habit. The what, when, and where you can adapt to fit your schedule, to fit what you think will work for you. That's just what I know would work for me. And that's something that I would feel 100% confident in my ability to stay consistent with until I figured it out, right? So, yeah, that is wealth creation for today. I've got a couple questions here, so this will be part 3 of the live stream, is the live Q&A. If anyone's got any questions on what we've been talking about, go ahead, drop them in the chat. If anyone has any habits that they want to get help implementing, go ahead, drop those in the chat, and we'll wrap the live stream up with this section. But Ishi said, how do you balance business, family, social life, and hobbies all together? Ishi, that's a great question. I personally do not subscribe to the idea of work-life balance. I think it's a fallacy. I think balance, like true balance, for any consistent period of time does not exist because there's just too many variables in life. And so it's like balance is like this straight line, right? But real life is like you're kind of zigzagging all around this line. And you're never actually staying on that line. So that's why I think it's a fallacy. I prefer to focus on work-life harmony or work-life integration. And that's a lot simpler to and maybe easier to do as a business owner, where I have a lot more flexibility with my schedule and such. But I would just say, like, Ishi, I have a list of the principles that like my ideal principles that I want to live by and the person that I want to be. There's 18 of them. And those help me to remain focused on my priorities and make sure that I'm keeping first things first. So obviously, Ishi says, would you not get drained or worn out if you just have your mind on one thing 24/7? Yes and no. That's part of the idea of like finding work that feels like play, right? Is like you find something that's genuinely just fun for you, and then you figure out how to make money doing that thing. And you might find that, at least I know this is how it is with some people who really like art, is like the adaptation of making money doing that thing makes it not fun for them anymore. And that's fine. And if that's the case, then just leave it as a hobby, right? There are some things that can be hobbies and you don't need to make money off of them. That's fine. That is more than fine. It's very acceptable. But the idea is that if you find something that you're obsessed with, that you feel like play, and that you want to use to make money as well, then it's going to be a lot easier for you to outwork everyone else and just focus on it for an extended period of time. I would, the element of caution there is like, and we talked about this in an earlier live stream too, is like sometimes the most productive use of your time is to take a break and to rest. It's like the more I study, the more I realize that sleep is like the single most important factor outside of Jesus, in my opinion, for your physical and mental well-being. And so getting that sleep, like you need quality and quantity of sleep. You can't have one or the other and not see a significant downside. But yeah, so I would if you're not interested in running a business and so therefore can't really develop work-life harmony or work-life integration, that's fine. If you are working like a 9 to 5 or a different job or something like that, I would just make sure that you leave your work at work. Don't bring it home with you. And then when you are home, put first things first and organize your environment so that you are also consistently putting first things first based off of whatever your priorities are. So for example, if we have someone who has a family, right, and they want to spend time with their kids, and that's like when they get home, that's their number one priority, is spending time with their wife or husband and kids. But they find themselves when they're with their family sitting on their phone too often, then something that they could do to put first things first and kind of create and shape their environment in a way that facilitates ease of that is to like have a designated place for their phone, put it away, put it out of sight, put it out of mind, and then that allows you to actually focus on putting first things first. Logan said, "What happened to your SSS?" Logan, it's right here, man. You're just joining the stream. We've been engineering stuff this whole time. So, yeah. And you can, yeah, it's good. I did get a haircut. I kind of like the buzz, honestly. Like, it's kind of a move. Very easy to maintain. Yeah, I'm a fan. But yeah, so if anyone else has, this is the Q&A section, so anyone else got any questions, comments, Ishi's dropped some bomb questions in the chat. Yeah, basically for the mastery tracks, like if you want to obtain real wealth in your lifetime, you can very easily and very simply by automating $600 a month into an account that compounds, that has compound interest, and reinvesting that money that you're putting into an S&P 500 index fund, which anyone can do for free with Vanguard or Fidelity, or probably a few other companies like that, as long as you've got an internet connection and a bank account. Ishi said, it's tough to find something you'll love to do for work that'll take care for you financially. Yeah. Yeah, I would say tough is not the right word. I would say it's worth the effort to find something that you'll love to do for work that'll also take care of you financially. Because when you think about it, like, dude, this is it. Like, we only have one life. Like, when you die, it's over. Like, there's heaven and all that stuff, but like, you only have one chance to be you in mortality. So take it. Take risks. Run full rein. Like, run all out. Do everything you can to just live. Like, there's a Jack London quote that I just love, where he just says that the purpose or the function of man is to live, not to just exist. I will not waste my days trying to prolong them. I will use my time. Like, this isn't a rehearsal. We're on stage. We're in the performance, and we've got one shot. So have fun. Like, try stuff, take risks, do what you want. Obviously, like, cap your downside, right? Which is simple enough to do. Like, there's the concept of like the 9 to 5, right? Where you go, you work your 9 to 5 job, then you come home. That 5 to 9 period, like before you start getting ready for bed, whatever, that 4-hour block is so severely underutilized by many people, especially in first world countries. And so you've got 4 hours right there that would be totally worth your effort to utilize to figure out, find something that you'll love to do for work, and 2, start building it, start testing it. Like, you got 4 hours, and maybe for some people they don't have 4 hours, they have 3, or they have 2, or they have 1, or they have 30 minutes, whatever. It's still worth the effort. It will always be worth the effort, because life is too short to not do what you love. It just is. It just is. Like, I've studied over 250 of history's most successful entrepreneurs, and so many of them get to the end of their lives and they're like, oh yeah, I'm worth a couple $1 billion, but you know what? My life actually kind of sucks. I didn't really like it too much. I would spend more time with my family instead of trying to make more money, right? Because they've made it all about the money and not necessarily about love, right? I think love should be the guiding compass factor for anything that you're doing in life, right? Whether physical, social, intellectual, spiritual, financial, like, love should be the overarching reason for taking action in any of those areas. Whether it's love for yourself, taking care of yourself physically, love for other people, like helping them out socially, love for yourself again intellectually, love for yourself and for others spiritually, and like whether it's love for others, whether it's love for yourself, like love should be the governing force behind all of the reasons why you take action. And just because that's what will bring so much purpose to your life. So anyways, that's my soapbox for today, chat. Yeah, let me know if y'all have any other questions. If not, I will wrap things up for today. Ishi says, you're right. Thanks, man. Dude, right back at you. Thank you. Great questions. Great questions. Yeah. Okay, and we will see you back here Monday, right around 9 a.m. for our physical discussion. Let me see real quick what that topic is going to be. That topic is going to be nutritional science. So understanding how different foods influence your metabolism, mood, performance, overall well-being, etc. So that's what we'll be talking about in Engineering a Habit for on Monday. Until then, keep the change and keep changing, everyone. Peace.